Good afternoon and welcome to the Red Podcast. My name is Red and here's another video. Been a little time since I've done a video. Hope everyone had a great holiday season with your family. I was fortunate to be able to spend a good amount of time with my kids and friends, and super grateful for that time. Got a few things on my mind. The other day I was in a parking lot. I was dropping some equipment off to a cable provider, and as I was leaving, a young man flagged me down. I was assuming that he was going to tell me that my brakes sounded really bad, because at that point it was metal on metal, and I needed to get one of my brake pads replaced. Flags me down. I'm like, yeah, I know. And he's like, no, I need help jumping my car. And off in the distance, his white SUV was broken down, kind of in the middle of the parking lot. Drive over there. I don't have cables, but I do have one of those portable battery charges that will give a couple of charges to a battery and help a car start. As we're waiting for that to charge, and I ask him, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? And I proceeded to tell him that I was just driving around looking for people, trying to help out the homeless. He's like, well, I'm homeless. And you would not have guessed that this kid was homeless. His name is Connor, and I'll throw a picture up here in just a quick second. He's local to the area. Good looking kid. Looks like he's very, very bright. And he then tells me, yeah, I live in my car. I'm like, wow, I lived in my car for a bit. I totally get that part of being homeless. And I'm like, and I ask him, why are you homeless? What brought you to this? He's like, I'm a meth addict. I use meth all the time. And you know, it was not interesting, but it was shocking to me that a kid that looks like he has his entire future in front of him, he got wrapped up in meth. And it got me to thinking, how does that happen to someone? What does being homeless really, really mean? And I think there's a few ways that you can define being homeless. And it's not always not having a home. It's not always being outside and not having a place to go. Sometimes I think people are homeless in their careers. They're homeless in their relationships. Homeless in what their purpose in life should be, homeless in who they are. And I think people that are truly, truly homeless are people who don't know who they are. And I think that can be really rough for people. It takes some time to figure out who you are, and who you are can change as well. And not understanding your true self, I think, at least from my point of view, and stuff that I've gone through, I think I've been truly homeless for a long time, not really understanding who I am, what Red is, what Red is supposed to do. And I think that can be very, very troubling for people. And unfortunately, we're a lot like electricity in ways, in that we'll take the path of least resistance. And I wonder, in Connor's situation, getting hooked on meth, other drugs, maybe that was a way he was trying to find himself, and that was it's not the right way, obviously, and it's not the way that you're going to find yourself. And often if we could just choose the path with more resistance, the more difficult path, because when you go with the path of least resistance, it's easier, but in the long run, it sure does make life a lot more difficult. And it ends up being the much more difficult path. Whereas if you put the hard work in before and choose a more difficult path, that path in the end ends up being the easier and the more rewarding path. Whereas the shorter path is not quite as rewarding. It's not quite as fulfilling. and I think you continue to struggle to find who you are. And so I often wonder. Well, I have been wondering about Connor, and I sure hope I see the kid again. I told him, hey, there's help that you can get. And I told him it's not easy. There's free help, there are free resources, and I asked for his phone number a number of times. He just didn't want to give it to me. We were not able to. The charge didn't. I think there's a problem with his alternator. I don't know a lot about cars, and there was another person a few cars away. He'd borrowed some jumper cables. We actually got the car started. Then it died again, started and died again. And then I gave Connor a ride back to a motel that he was staying in that was fairly close. And just on the way there, started talking to him again. Hey, I can help you out. He's like, no, I just like getting high too much. I like getting high too much. And just at the end, gave him a big hug. I told him I loved him, and I told him I hope I'd see him again. I'd given him some food, so hopefully that was enough to get him by the next couple of days. And hopefully Connor can find home. He can get his way back home. Maybe not necessarily a physical home, and I certainly hope he does that as well. But finding out who he is and can start making a difference not only in his own life but in other people's lives once he's ready to get past this horrible meth addiction that has ruined I don't know how many countless of lives. It's just a horrible thing to see. And then as well as the other day, I was downtown doing my thing, walking around, looking for people to help. What was great, I ran into some familiar faces, gave out some more food, and then ran into a lady without a coat, young gal, probably I would say late 20s. Suitcase, she had a dog, and then she has two young girls. And I don't think the girls could have been older than, I don't know, let's say 5 and 7, just young girls, and didn't have a lot on either. And I could tell she was trying to go somewhere. She's trying to do something. And as I was helping an elderly gal get onto the train and give her directions, she wanted to come down to 90 South because she was downtown. I walked over to this gal and asked, "Hey, can I help you?" And she's like, "No, I don't need any help." And I'm like, "Sure. I mean, are you going somewhere? Can I help you?" And she just kind of gave me this glare, and I'm like, "I can. I can help out." She's like, "Does it look like I need help from a man?" And which surprised me, and I don't know what led up, what the circumstances that led up to her being in the situation, but it almost seemed like she was on the run. I don't know that for sure, and I could tell just by looking at her eyes and some of the marks on her face. It looks like there was some drug abuse, and most likely there was some domestic violence going on. And she did not want to help from a man, and I totally get it. I totally get it. So I just backed off and kind of let her be here, let her go on her way. So obviously I was completely unprepared for a situation like that, and I needed to do some more research. And as well, I found I've been unprepared in maybe showing people the resources or where to go and what to do. So I need to be more prepared, one, for situations like that, because it's not always that we're going to run into people that are homeless that need help. There are going to be other situations that I can help, or other of us can help, where maybe it's not that type of situation. Obviously, she needed a place to stay, and I'm hoping that she knew where she was going, and that her and her daughters can have a place to stay, can recover, and get back to living life. And I hope I see her again. I hope the next time I have that situation, I can maybe ask a better question, come at it from a different way, and possibly, maybe having a woman talk to her would have been able to have that connection a lot quicker than what I would have been able to have. So with that being said, and I've got some stuff planned the next few weeks. I'm starting a new job next week, which I'm way excited. That's going to allow me to pursue a couple of different avenues in being able to help and support and outreach people, and hopefully get more boots on the ground. As always before, it doesn't matter what you're going through, what you're struggling with. Do not give up. You got this. To the next video, right out.